Good afternoon, everyone. Today I am going to present you the second section of the UGC Net Paper 1. This is October 2024 and this part is called the Research Aptitude. The last couple of days ago, I uploaded a video on teaching aptitude, which is the first subsection of UGC Net Paper 1. Today, I am going to cover the entire syllabus of the second subsection, that is Research Aptitude. This is the entire syllabus of the subsection Research Aptitude. We talk about research and its meaning, the types of research and characteristics, what is positivism and post-positivistic approach to research. Then we talk about methods of research and the steps of research. I have classified this into three subsections. We'll start with the first one. That is the part 1, research and its meaning, etc. Whatever I have shown in this slide. Research requires an issue. It is a systematic process of searching for some confirmed information. Also, research means searching exhaustively in detail about an issue. That issue need not necessarily be a large issue. Generally, when we do research, we do in-depth study about a small issue. Then, a detailed and careful study of the issue. We try to find out more information about it. We create new knowledge about the existing issue. Now, this new knowledge can be through research, that is, asking some people. When you ask some people about their opinion about an issue, they become respondents to the issue. Now, we can do that, or we can just go into some published resources and find out more details about an existing issue. Alright, then when we put together, we create new knowledge. Creating awareness about an issue in a novel and creative way. The same issue that is presented by somebody can be represented by you in a novel or creative way, and it creates a new understanding about an existing issue or new or more concepts about the issue. These are, in this slide, I have shown you types of research. From applied research to quantitative and qualitative research, you will find all types of research which we will discuss in the slides to come. The first one is applied research. It is a non-systematic inquiry for a specific problem. It is aimed at finding a solution to an immediate problem. The immediate problem can be in academia, it can be in business, or it can be in society. Conducted by an individual, like a researcher, a company, or like the research department of a company, a department, obviously the research department, a research scholar, a researcher, or simply an individual in society. Now, for example, a new bird is seen or a new plant is found. Now, what is this plant? Has it been found before? What is this bird? Has it been seen before? Or if it has not been seen before at all, then name the bird, name the plant. In business, the sales of a product may be dipping, like the sales are becoming less. So, why are the sales becoming less? This could be a problem that we need to solve in applied research. Several years ago, Procter & Gamble in Japan found that their diaper sales were becoming lower and lower. Now, when they found out some interesting concepts. Procter & Gamble had sold the same diapers, same in size, etc., and the same design, etc., in the United States. And then they had brought the same design, the same size of diapers to Japan. Now, as you know, the size of people, like there are different sizes of people, and the babies are also accordingly different sizes. So what happened is the size that could fit American babies was not fitting Japanese babies, and that is why the Japanese had, the sales of these diapers were dipping. So Procter and Gamble went back to America and they created a new product called, I think, Quick Fit babies, Quick Fit diapers, which were, the size that was better suited to Japanese babies, and the sales picked up. Now, this is an example of applied research. Next is basic research. Basic research is a systematic study to find additional knowledge or information or some characteristics about an issue. There are some facts that you know, but are there any more observable facts? The results of this basic research need not add to the ability to sell more, or viability for production, or feasibility for a production process. It's just like in the applied research. Basic research is just simply pursuit of knowledge, not for the sake of solving a problem or something. For example, a particular flower or a particular plant, how does the pollination takes place? Or a particular product is sold, how do the consumers use the product? Alright. Next is correlational research. As you know, correlation means the relationship between any two variables. Now, researches more about the how and why of the correlation between the variables. It's a non-experimental type of research because the researcher just observes. For example, if you keep a particular shampoo on the top shelf of in a departmental store, or you keep in the middle shelf of a departmental store, or you keep on the bottom shelf, how does the sale differ? Do people really see? Generally, people, as we know, look at their eye level and try to buy the shampoo or whatever products which are on their eye level. But sometimes, if the product is at a higher level or a lower level, do they really want to buy the product? Do they make the attempt to buy the product? This is correlational research. Like in correlation, there are two variables, X and Y. X could be the shelf on which the shampoo is placed. Y could be the number of sales. It is a quantitative kind of research. Correlational research is a quantitative kind of research because you count the number of shampoo bottles sold. For example, we'll go to the next slide. It is descriptive research. Descriptive, as the word says, is gives correct description. What happens when a phenomenon occurs? What, when, where, and how, but not the why. Why it happened is not the concern of descriptive research. Descriptive research will go systematically and accurately, observing all the features of the occurrence of the phenomenon. For example, it describes the demographics of a population. In a population, how many demographics could be age, how many senior people are there, how many people below the age of 30, like this. Or it could be how many men are there, how many women are there, or it could be any characteristics like working women, young adults. All these demographics of a population is given by descriptive research. The conditional, for example, a situation is occurring. When does that situation occur? Or the variables of an occurrence or a phenomenon. See, something has happened, but what is the prelude of the phenomenon? What happens before? What are the happenings before the phenomenon occurs that leads to the occurrence of the phenomenon? Like that. Now, the process of an eclipse. What is the position? Is the example how it occurs? What is the position of the sun? What is the position of the moon? What is the position of the earth? And only then it occurs. Something like this. Next is ethnographic research. Now, ethnography is the study of people in their own environment through the observation of participants and face-to-face interviews. Ethnographic research is conducting the above, what is ethnography? a particular community or organization is studied. Observation of their behavior and interactions. Example, imagine you're studying about a particular tribe in a forest or a community who has been always been living in a forest. This is ethnographic research. Next is experimental research. Experimental research is a comparative analysis of any two variables. We just did something called correlation research. Now, correlation research, I told you, we don't find the why. Here, we try to find the why. Under a certain condition or different conditions, a what if study of situations. I have written here what is. It is not what is, it is a what if study of situations. Example, participants of a clinical test. Now there is a clinical test for a drug trial. What are the results, when it is or for example, you're drinking hot water on a empty stomach, or you're drinking hot water on a full stomach. So these are different two situations, and this is experimental research. Variations of packaging or types of advertising and their effect on the sales of a product. For example, you're making packaging and you're making maybe the color of the packaging changes. Many times it is said in marketing, nobody likes a package that is has a color black. So what are the back? Some premium soaps, bath soaps only, or go into, or some shampoos which advocate black hair, jet black hair, make the packaging as black. Others do not. So what are the various types of packages? For example, many years ago, Camé has, as you know, in Canada, there are people who speak English, there are people who speak French. Now we associate French with that they like perfume, and we associate the English like who are a little they like cleanliness. So Camé in Canada is to give advertisements in French, and in French they used to talk about the benefit of using Camé for the perfume factor of the soap. But when they talked in English, the advertisement in English talked about the cleanliness factor of the soap. Then next we have exploratory research. Now exploratory research is generally secondary research. Secondary research is researching or reading up from already published sources, like from journals or magazines or something that somebody already has said it, or somebody already knows. Literature review and collecting data from already published sources is secondary research. Next you have informal qualitative approaches like brainstorming. You get some people to sit together and you ask them a question and find out their answers. Sometimes you can have group discussion with employees, expert advice from the management, or maybe your competitors of the same product. They speak about what they feel about their product versus your product. Now the third one is formal qualitative research. Here, generally when you want to make an interview, or you want to have respondents answer your questions about something, then you make a questionnaire. A questionnaire is used when you have respondents and they may answer your questions by writing on it, etc. But when you ask an expert with the same questionnaire, then the questionnaire is called an interview schedule. Now, interview schedule is a questionnaire which is used by a researcher to conduct an in-depth research with an expert. So you have focus. Apart from this, you have focus group of consumers, projective methods. For example, when I show you ice cream, what thought comes to your mind? When I show you a chocolate, what thoughts come? This is projective techniques, okay? Projection techniques. Then there are case study discussions, pilot studies, etc., which are part of exploratory research. Now the next one is called grounded theory. Now some data is placed before you, and based on this data, a theory is developed. Grounded theory means that all phenomena and their occurrences can be based on data. This is what it means. Interviews, observations can also be data. Now, talking when someone is interviewed and that person gives a opinion or observations, then this also can be considered data, and you can develop a theory based on this data. So, for example, why do consumers prefer a particular product, maybe over or this product over another product? Why customers in a place hot, like as a tropical place like Mumbai or Chennai, buy products in a different way, or different products as those products that are related to environment and climate. And here in Bangalore, because we are on a plateau, then we have people buying different products. Maybe sweaters are not so popular in Mumbai or Chennai as they are popular in Bangalore, for example. So why do they buy? You look at the data and then you form a theory. This is called the grounded theory approach. Then historical research. As the word itself says, data about events that have already occurred are collected. It gives an idea about present events that happen currently. For example, something happened some years ago, and that is why today this event is happening. Basically, we discuss about how past events have an effect on the occurrence of current events. The methodologies are paleography, that is, study of historical or medieval handwriting. Diplomatics, that is, the study of documents, records, archives. It could be bills, reports, registers, any kind of documents. Next one is chronology. That is, chronology is about time, establishing the dates of past events. Then you have epigraphy. Now, when some material is written on some matter is written on some durable material like stone or wood, etc., that is called epigraphy. It is a study of ancient inscriptions. Then we have phenomenological research. It is a phenomenon has happened, how and what, why it happened, etc., is phenomenological research. An attempt to understand the occurrence of a phenomenon through interviews with people and understanding how the event happened through their experiences. It is a qualitative research, uses non-numerical data. We use in-depth interviews, notes from observations. For example, there was an earthquake, and what people felt during the earthquake, were there tremors, and how big were the tremors, etc. Then next you have qualitative research. Qualitative research is something that cannot be measured, like the happiness of people or the excitement of people, enthusiasm of people. Experiences, perceptions, and behavior of respondents are collected as data. It is purely qualitative data. Next, you have quantitative research. Quantitative research is basically 4 types, and it concerns only with numerical data, only with numbers. There are 4 types. One is descriptive, correlational, causal. Causal means what causes? X causes Y, like that, and experimental research. Now, we'll go ahead. We'll come to characteristics of research. Research has to be objective. It cannot be subjective. Empirical, collected first hand through questionnaires or something like that. Then research is a process. It is not a static process. It's a dynamic process. It's not static. Static cannot be a process. Dynamic process. It is systematic. You have to analyze the data in the research, and whatever you're doing, there should be some feasibility, because if it is not feasible, you cannot conduct the research. The research has to be non-biased. Any opinion of the researcher should not be shown in the report. It should be even if the reporter does not agree with the opinion of the respondents, he or she should show in the report the opinion of the respondents, not the opinion of the researcher. Then there should be clarity of purpose. Whatever, as we go ahead, I'm going to talk about steps of research, and that time I'll talk you about clarity of purpose. And it should be logical. Research should be logical, not illogical, and it should be reproducible. You should be able to report it in the this thing of in the form of a report. Now, next we come to positivism. Positivism means accepting anything that can be only seen or proved based on observable or measurable phenomena. There is, in positivism approach, there is no belief in abstract events. A positivist research is based on only observable and quantifiable facts. Whatever you observe and you can quantify, only these facts are considered in the positivistic approach. Now, post-positivism means it values empirical evidence and scientific methods, but post-positivism accepts the influence of subjectivity, context, and interpretation in the research process. So it just doesn't base itself on events or facts that can be seen and observed. The influence of being a little subjective in the context and interpretation regarding this subjectivity is also accepted in post-positivism. Now we come to part 2 of the syllabus, where we are talking about methods of research. But I should tell you that most of these methods and the types of research I have already covered in the previous slides. So we'll talk about experimental research here. It is like what if studies. For example, if we have 10,000 rupees in advertisement, maybe the sales is 1 lakh. If you have 20,000 in advertisement, maybe the sales are 2 lakhs. Or if you have 5,000 in advertisement, then the sales are only 50,000. So what if when the variable, one x variable is variated, then what happens with what is the effect of varying variable x on the variable y? Any two variables are studied. The behavior of one variable when another variable is controlled or fluctuated. Here I am telling you about controlling or fluctuating the advertising expenses and seeing the effect of the fluctuation of the advertising expenses on the sales turnover. The other methods have been covered in the previous slide, so we will go on to part 3 of the syllabus. Here I am talking about steps of research. Here, what is a thesis? A thesis is the book in which you write the report. Article writing, how to write an article, I have not covered here. I'll cover in my other classes. Format and styles of referencing is there. We'll go ahead. Steps of research. First one, identify a topic. Now, this topic should be an issue that requires additional information through study. The research on this topic should be feasible and viable. They should be you should be able to do it economically, time-wise, etc. There should be a possibility of gathering further information on the topic or conducting research on the topic. It should be possible to identify people who are familiar with the topic and can give you an real relatable experience, information. Gather initial information on the topic. This is the first step. Identify a topic. Second one, define the problem. Now the topic should be there, but what is the problem? Define the problem before starting. Should be specific. You should do it through a preliminary survey or through observation or focus group interviews. There should be a purpose for conducting the research. It should be useful academically, socially, or for any specific purpose. For example, the sales of a product are coming down, or there are people in a hotel tend to eat only non-vegetarian food, not vegetarian food. Why? Like that. Or imagine there is a bakery, and the bakery is serving different types of burgers, fresh burgers every day. Imagine there is a burger with a patty inside it, which is completely vegetarian, and there is another burger with a patty inside it which is plain potato. Now, for example, many people like potato, so maybe the burger with the potato patty is selling more than the burger with the vegetable patty. Why is it so? You see, this is the problem. The non-sale of the vegetable patty burger. Step 3. Formulate the topic. Set up the research questions. The answer should elicit the answer to the objective. Formulate the objectives of the study and understand the operational definitions. There are certain words which we misinterpret. We as a layperson have a certain understanding of certain terms, but when it comes to research, these terms should be understood and defined. For example, you are going to try and find the reliability of a travel service. There's a travel service and you want to find out the reliability of the travel service. What do you mean by reliability? If you ask someone, are they reliable? It'll be confusing. But if you ask these following questions, for example, are they regular? They'll be able to answer, yes, they're regular or not. Consistent? Are they coming regularly every time, every day of the week? That is consistency. Punctuality. Are they in time? This is necessary. Seriousness of purpose. Do they want to give you, they want to help you travel from one place to another. Suppose you're standing in a bus stand and they stop the vehicle 20 feet ahead of you or behind you. You're supposed to walk. It does not show seriousness of purpose in serving you. Then standardized work. They should stop in the same place every day, and there should be a certain kind of standardized operating procedures where you buy the ticket. Do you buy the ticket before you get into the vehicle, or do you buy the ticket after you sit in the vehicle, or do you buy the ticket when you get off? So this should be the same thing every day, because otherwise people will get confused. If they say, oh, someone will come near me when I'm sitting in the vehicle, they will wait for the ticket. If they know for sure that you have to buy the ticket before getting into, or pay your fare before you get into the vehicle, then the same standard operating procedures should use. So this is formulating the topic. Step 4, literature review. All the existing literature available on a particular topic should be read up first only. There are many people have various viewpoints on a topic. All the existing viewpoints of different authors as regards the topic must be assimilated to understand various concepts of the topic. Documentation about the review of literature is necessary in research. How does then finally? First, you read up about the topic from the viewpoint of different authors or different people, and then you're going to study your topic. How does your topic differ from the existing viewpoints? Your topic should not be the same as what others say. Because you're conducting a research, you're wasting your time, effort, and finances, then you should be able to contribute something new. So that is why existing viewpoints about the topic should be decided, and saying how our research will differ from what is already been done by others. Step 5. Design the methodology of research. How should the research be conducted? Whether you rely on secondary sources of data or collect data from primary resources. If data is primary data, then the method of collecting such data. Who will be the respondents? How many respondents do you want? The method of data collection. Are you going to give each one of your respondents a paper with the questionnaire asking them to fill in, or are you going to email it to them? Or take the questionnaire, consider it an interview schedule, and sit with some experts to do in-depth interviews. Then focus group discussions. For example, some people, say maybe customers or employees or consumers of your product, excuse me, you invite them and you conduct focus group interviews. Sometimes you go to some people who are experts in that field and you ask their opinion, or you just simply sit somewhere and observe. Like example, you're sitting in a mall or a departmental store and you're observing the buying patterns or the footfall patterns of people. Then here you also have to say the scope of the study. Then when you do the scope of the study, it means think of it as a photo frame, and you are going to do this is a photo frame is a rectangle piece of wood, you imagine, and you're supposed to scope is everything within that photo frame and nothing beyond it. When you define the scope, you do not leave anything to chance. Whatever you have to do or whatever you have to cover, maybe a geographical area of respondents or everything inside that rectangular frame, you're going to cover, and you will not do anything that is not necessary. So a scope is very important. Then here, when you design the methodology of research, you have to also say what are the statistical techniques you are using for analyzing. Now, when you say, for example, many times, when you have a chi-square, you are going to use a chi-square for analysis, then the questionnaire questions have to be in a particular format, which makes it simpler. Like a Likert scale, if you have a Likert scale in the questionnaire, it becomes simpler to do chi-square analysis. So the statistical techniques for analysis have to be defined first. And then chapterization. How many chapters are you going to have and what is the content of each chapter? Now the step 6 is data collection. Primary data we call it empirical study. When you do through questionnaires, when you meet a respondent, a respondent is an individual who is going to answer your questions and who's supposed to know something about what is there. So a primary data is empirical, collected through an empirical study through questionnaires. Sometimes you have observation techniques, you have focus group interviews, as I've said before, expert opinions, group discussions with selected customers, etc. Secondary data, as we said before, is already published sources, you do it. Step 7 is data analysis. Many times researchers use simple techniques like percentages, bar graphs, etc. to analyze, and then we go into advanced techniques like slightly advanced techniques like correlation, regression, chi-square, ANOVA, etc. And this is the way analysis is done. Then you have, for example, when you do data analysis, we do, for every question, we do 4 things. The first thing we do is a table. In a tabular form, we present the data. Under the table, we do an explanation of a simple explanation of the contents of the table, and then we do a graphical figure. The third thing we do is a graph, and the fourth thing we do is inference. Now, if there are 80 respondents, 50% of 80 would be 40. So suppose out of these 80, say 55 people said yes to the question and the others said no, then we can infer that since a majority of the 80 have said yes to the question, the probable answer would be yes. Okay, this is the way inference is derived. And then we come to the last part of the last step in research. This is report writing. Here you do the chapterization and the report is written and presented in chapters. So you make a game plan of how you are going to chapterization, and you have already done in your mind in the previous steps, and now the report is written and presented in chapters. Now next we talk about what is a citation. A citation gives credit to the authors who wrote the creative and intellectual works that the researcher utilized during the current study. See, there is a lot of material available. It could be in the form of simple articles, articles in journals, articles in newspapers, or it articles on websites on the World Wide Web, or it could be in books. If you're going to use some part or some idea of what from some article or a book or a website, etc., it is right that you give acknowledgement to the author for having extracted some material from his articles. So this is called the citations. For this is useful for citing or reciting or stating that I've taken from such a place is the citation. Simple. For locating particular sources and combating plagiarism, citation is important. It includes the author's name, the date of publication of the author's article, location of the publishing company, title of the journal, or digital object identifier. Many times you get it. And a citation can have a particular style. Now we talk about referencing. There are 4 styles of referencing. The first one is the APA citation style. See, here you can see author, then you have his R.M. Sapolsky, but it is like this. See, I would like to acknowledge that I took this page from this website. And then here you have, see, for example, you have the author and his initials, then you have the year of publication. This is the title from where it was taken, and this Penguin Books is the publisher. The same way, author, then you initials, then the see here, if it's a book, if it's a chapter, if it's an article in a print journal, if it's an electronic journal, if it's a website, this is the way you cite articles in APA citation style. Then comes the Chicago Turabin citation style. This here, the structure is slightly different. You will have to note this down. And then comes the MLA citation style. You see here how it is. You have the second name, then the first name, then the title, and then the Oxford UP is the publisher, and then you have the year of publication. Slightly different from the other styles. Then you have the IEEE style. So these 4 slides I have taken from my humble acknowledgement to this website. Thank you. Then ICT in research. See, computers based information technology is very important in research. We use different software, maybe Microsoft Excel, SPSS, then you have R, Python. You have so many, I'm sure you can, you know that there are many software which can be used today for analysis, like structural equation modeling helps in modeling, etc. Then ethics in research. Please remember, correct information should be given in research. Nothing imaginary or creatively you should not. You can do creativity when you do the conclusion and the recommendations, and for when you say further research, let your creativity come in. But when you present the data should be accurate. Informed consent. In case you cite another author, please inform that author or give proper acknowledgement. Confidentiality and data protection. When respondents divulge information to you confidentially, keep their confidence. For example, someone will say, please do not, I would like to give you information, but it should be anonymous. Please don't state my name. You keep the confidence of the people. Do not state their name under any circumstances. Respondent integrity. The respondents whom you choose should not be your friends and relatives just because they are easily accessible to you and they'll answer your questions. The respondents must be related to the topic and knowledgeable about the topic. Just don't take anybody and say they are my respondents just because they are your siblings or your aunts and uncles or your friends. Alright, they should be knowing about the topic, give you knowledgeable information about the topic. Integrity. Data should be genuine and accurate. Conflict of interest. Do not hurt or make contradictory statements about the opinions of ideas of any other author regarding the same topic. Suitable research must have been conducted before publishing, and just with a mild idea, do not publish something, and there should be no plagiarism. Please remember that, no copying of anybody's ideas. Let your ideas be original. Finally, I would like to say all the best. In my next slide, I will talk about comprehension and how to do comprehension. Till then, thank you for listening. All the best and God's blessing. Jai Hind, Jai Karnataka.